In this episode of our unusual transport series, we're riding the Schwebebahn.
I actually quite like it, I think it's really cool.
Located about 25 kilometres east of Dusseldorf, this railway runs in the valley, mostly above the river, through the centre of this bustling city.
This train runs for 13 kilometres, and there's one going overhead, and it carries about 80,000 passengers a day. So what we're going to do today is travel along the entire route, stopping off at every station, and we're going to see if we can find something interesting about each one.
Learn a bit about the area, a bit of history.
There are 20 stations on the route,
You got a train coming out of your head.
each with their own unique stories to tell.
Poor little elephant. This is the oldest running monorail in the world. It was first built in 1901 and then it was fully finished in 1903.
You would think it's quite unique, but it's not. There is several in Japan, I think there's some in America, but also there's two others even in this little area. There's one at Dusseldorf Airport, which we rode on as we were coming into the area the other day. So flashback to when we rode that. And there's another train going overhead. It just seems really weird to have a train literally passing over my head as I'm speaking about the train.
It's also really quiet, I noticed.
It is, yeah.
The train swings.
I lost my footing as I was stepping on. I was like, oh.
It's like a roller coaster.
As you can see, almost the entire thing runs over a river. But there's a short section that does run over the street, which we'll get to shortly. That's where we're starting. The reason it's over the river is because it was just the most convenient place to put it. When they built this, there was a lot of traffic problems in the city, even for like late 1800s standards. So they wanted to put some public transport in so they could help transport people around a bit easier. And of course, just putting anything on the road, such as a tram or a bus, would just add to the congestion. So they just built a train line. But where to put it? Just put it over the river. No one's using it. Why not? Start of the line. I'm not sure which around it goes. It's the end we're starting at least anyway. Station number 1, Vohwinkel. So this is the western terminus of the line. It was originally built in 1901, but a bit further that way, about a couple hundred metres near the main railway station. But it was moved here in 1908 for reasons unknown. But however, the building you see today is actually the original. All stations on the line, apart from one, were rebuilt in around sort of 1990 to 2010-ish, roughly. So this building is actually from 2007. You can kind of tell because it looks a bit more modern. However, just over there, all of our British viewers will recognise Woolworths, which is sort of partially hidden behind some road signs. The German company Woolworth used to be part of the same company as the UK Woolworths, which are both subsidiaries of the American Woolworth company. But of course, all the British Woolworths disappeared in 2009 because they went bankrupt, so it's kind of a bit nostalgic to see that logo again. Albeit with a missing S at the end. Oh, and by the way, the South African and the Australian Woolworths companies completely unrelated to this one.
This is Bruch. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Probably going to do that to every single one, and we apologise profusely for that. There wasn't much to find out about this station. I think it was destroyed in World War II and rebuilt in maybe 1982. This particular part of the line is known as the curtain rod route because the train company gave everybody, all the residents on this street, extra money so that they could put up some curtains so that people couldn't look into their bedrooms. The windows are really close to the train. Like, you can totally see it. Glad they got curtains. That's good. Another fact is they have all these notices about heights for cars that drive underneath this particular the train. That's mainly because a crane hooked on the train one day, which is really bad. So now they don't want that to happen again, and so they've got all the signs up.
Next station is Hammerstein, which to my English-speaking brain is probably the best named station on the network. Again, can't think of anything interesting to say about this particular station. It's just one of those over-street ones. However, just before it or just after it, depending on which direction you go, it crosses over the Autobahn. It crosses Autobahn 46, 535 and Road L74, which all converge all at the same point. Autobahn 535 used to be the shortest Autobahn in Germany, but they extended it in 1990 and now it's not. And that's Hammerstein.
If you like pizza, you're gonna love this stop. This is Sonnborner Straße, which is the last land station on this line. The rest are all exclusively over the river. Anyway, let's go find some pizza. Here's Nico's. Here's Deva. Pizza Joy, which has the best name out of all three.
This station is Zoo Stadion, and as the name might suggest, it's both the zoo and the stadium. So the stadium is host to Wuppertal SV Football Club, which play in the 4th tier of German football. I have no idea if that's good or not, I don't follow football. They do sell a combi ticket, so you can get a day's entry to the zoo and a full day's ride on the Schwebebahn, all in one go.
This is Varresbecker Straße, which is right outside the old Bayer chemical plant. Bayer was actually founded here in 1863. I had to look at that. Which is really interesting for me because as a veterinary nurse in my previous life, I used to use a lot of their medications. Anyway, the factory closed in 1895 because there were no transport links to it. And it moved 26 k's down the road to a little town of Wiesdorf. But now it's back to being a Bayer's facility now, where they do research and some kind of production plant.
This is Westende station, and this has another chemical factory next to it, but this one has a massive chimney. Also looks nothing like the West End of London.
This is Pestalozzistraße. Whew, mouthful. Not much here, bit residential, bit industrial, but there's this cool little park, like literally right outside, which is quite nice. Oh, and they've just mowed the lawn today, so it smells amazing. Also, you can still see that damn chimney. Look at it, it's huge! It's huge!
Robert-Daum-Platz, and it's named after the nearby piazza, which is also named for a former mayor of Wuppertal. And this is the site of the only fatal incident on the network, when in April 1999, the first train of the day derailed just down that way. What happened was, during overnight engineering work, a worker left a clamp on the track, and when the first train of the day passed over it, it derailed and fell 10 metres into the river below. 5 people were killed and 47 more were injured. There is a plaque at the station that memorialises the victims.
This is Ohligsmühle. It was first built in 1901, but then was destroyed in World War II. It wasn't built again or rebuilt until 1983. Before then, there was a really healthy tram network on the ground level. Say that on ground level. But then those got discontinued in the 70s and 80s, and so they decided to rebuild the station to better serve the area. The distance between this station and the next station is the shortest on the whole network, at like 420 meters. Just like super short. So we're just gonna walk it. Yeah.
station number 11, Hauptbahnhof. It's the busiest station on the network because it serves the main station. Train go by, why not? It originally opened as a station called Doppersberg, but then when the main station changed its name to Hauptbahnhof, this changes name to the same time.
This is Kluse. This used to be the terminus for the railway up until 1903 when the new section was built. It was destroyed in World War II, and like the other one that I can't pronounce, Ohligsmühle, it wasn't rebuilt until 1999, which probably makes this the newest station, even though it's not the newest station. Does that make sense? Complications! It used to serve the Cinemax Theatre. That theatre was damaged in 2021 due to some flooding. I think it's fixed now, but it's not open anywhere. So I think it's fixed, but it's not ready yet. This is another case of the lights are on, but nobody's home.
Next station is Landgericht, or because I now live in Wales, I want to pronounce it as Landgericht. But anyway, that means regional court, and as you expect, the regional court is in the area, and in fact it's right next door. The courthouse opened in 1834, and that apparently makes it one of the oldest courthouses in Germany.
This is Völklinger Straße. Between this station and the previous one is the longest between the stations on the whole line at 1 kilometer. They were both rebuilt in 2011-2012 in this awesome Art Nouveau kind of way, so they look like the original 1901 buildings. But they're not, they're new. Woohoo! I actually quite like it, I think it's really cool. The black and the white and the little domey things at the top, I think they're really pretty.
This is Loher Brücke, and it's the location of this quite modern looking school thing. It's called Junior Uni, but I'm not quite sure of the purpose of it. Essentially, it's a extracurricular place for people aged between 4 and 20. It's quite a broad age gap. Apparently it's unique in Germany though. I did read the website and I didn't quite understand what they were talking about, so education.
Adlerbrücke, and of course it wouldn't be a YouTube video without some leaf blowers. This site is a site of another incident that happened on the railway, but this time it was caused by an animal. On the 21st of July 1950, a circus came to town and they thought it would be a really good idea to put a baby elephant on the suspended monorail. Of course, poor little elephant freaked out, jumped out of a window and landed in the river. Apparently the elephant was fine, just some minor injuries. Now you'll find a monument to Tufi in the river, and then there's a bronze statue of him in a shopping centre nearby. Poor little elephant. But apparently he lived till about 50 years old, so that's good. In captivity, that's bad.
Markt, as you can see in massive letters. That means Old Market, and of course it serves the Old Market of the Oberbarmen district, and it's also close to where you'll find a bronze statue of Tufi.
This is Werther Brücke, which is named after the bridge that goes over the river Wupper. As in, we're in Wuppertal, so that's where the name comes from. Interestingly, that's where you find this sculpture, which is to represent the sun in the Wuppertal astropath. The astropath is a scale model of the solar system, starting here and stretching for 10.7 kilometers. Each planet is represented by a metal plaque embedded in the ground at a scale of 552 million to 1. It means that Mars is a couple of minutes down the road, but Pluto is at like the first station we were at today, which is 10 kilometers away. We have found a few plaques, so that's cool. Neptune. A lot of them have been pulled up because they've been stolen, or people have slipped on them and then it's a health hazard, and so they pull them up and fill it up with concrete. Pluto. Maybe they should put it on a pole instead and like have a picture of a sphere. I don't know. They need to do something because I like the idea. It's kind of cool. This is also supposed to be a fountain, but there's no water. It's very sad, but there you go. Maybe it's closed for winter in anticipation of it freezing.
Almost done. Second class station, Wupperfeld, is the only station to be built on a curved track.
You got a train coming out of your head.
Oh, and there seems to be a church nearby with a dome shaped like an onion. And there's a building covered in sunflowers. Wupperfeld? Sounds like something out of Game of Thrones.
Oberbarmen. And that brings us to the end of the line. This is the eastern terminus of the track. All trains terminate here, and then they do this cool little roundy bendy thing and then carry on back down the line. Also, interestingly, the entire depot is situated above the river. There's like a giant bridge building. This stop has a very easy connection to the Oberbarmen train station, which is literally just down there. Oh no, look, there's a train. And that's it for today. Done and dusted. All in all, I thought this was a very cool way to travel. Once I got used to the swinginess.
It's a bit odd. It's like
when you get off, you have to like, okay, I've got land legs now. I had swinging monorail legs.
yeah, it was kind of weird when you get it on as well, because it's like you step and then like the train moves.
Kind of
like,
gives, which is a bit disconcerting. Just a tad.
It kind of is like getting onto a boat. It's
yeah, it's weird, but great. Yeah, I liked it. It gets a bit full during peak times. But there's always space, and there's enough of them that you just wait for another one, and then it's
yeah,
fine.
it's like every 3 minutes roughly. Although I think towards the end of the day they were kind of getting a bit delayed. There was like gaps between 1 and 2 minutes, then there was 10 minutes to the next one. So,
well, maybe they have driver issues.
well, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you again next time. Okay, where you get a full day's ride on the underground. It's not underground, we're very much above ground. It was not renovated.
Created by Werther Brücke. Werther Brücke. Anyway, there's a lot of things.